Community is such an important thing in today's world, and one of the things I want to bring to your attention is an effort and a cause by El Jefe. One of the coolest ones I've come across, and I 100% wanted to help out as much as I could. So what I want you to do is check out the links down below in the video description. El Jefe is honoring his wife who recently passed away by supporting other families that are in need. One of the ways that he is honoring his wife is to give 100% of the proceeds to local food banks. I would love for the tech community to give as much support as they can to El Jefe and his effort and his cause for this Beats for Hope. When you go to the link in the video description, you can choose some shirts, hoodies like this one, and also some hats. So Beats for Hope is a 501c3. It's a nonprofit that is volunteer-based. It's a unique platform that brings music, art, and people together to make a difference in the community. All right, so tech community, this is my challenge to you. Follow that link down below in the video description, pick up a shirt, hoodie, or hat, and let's support this cause. It's been a while since an Android phone has actually made me feel comfortable using it apart from the iPhone. Normally when I switch my SIM over to an Android phone from my iPhone, I can't wait to get back to the iPhone just because of the ecosystem and all the reasons why. But the Pixel 7 Pro has held me over. And I want to go over my experience that I've had with the Pixel 7 Pro since I've had it. I don't know if it's me, but if I could put in one sentence of what the Pixel 7 Pro is, it's back on track. It's been a while since I felt this good about a Pixel or even any Android device. I'm not saying that there's been bad devices out there, but there's just something special about the Pixel 7 Pro this time around. And I'm here for it. The way I'm going to structure this review is to kind of go over the stuff that I think that they fixed, what they got right, and some improvements. There's so much to talk about with the phone review, and I'm going to try to just narrow it down to what my experience has been like with those other categories. Just a quick reminder about MusicBed. It's where I get all my music for this channel and also my professional work. I think it's got the best library that you could get for music, and if you're interested, you can sign up for a free account, link down below. So as I said, I feel like the Pixel line with the Pixel 7 Pro has got the phone back on track. Does that mean that it's perfect? No, but it's a pretty damn good phone. And honestly, to make it to where I have not put my main SIM back into my iPhone 14 Pro since I've had the Pixel. I've not had the urge that I've had. Normally, when I get a Pixel phone, a Samsung, whatever Android device that I'm trying to review and test out, even the day that I put my main SIM into the Android phone, I am anxious to get back over to the iPhone. And I have not felt that way with this phone. I don't know if that means anything to you, but I think that it provides some value, some context from where I'm coming from looking at this phone. What do I mean by getting back on track? Just kind of looking back through history of the Pixel, backtracking, the Pixel 6 Pro just seemed to have some bugs. There wasn't that great a quality in my opinion, in comparison to the 7 Pro. Real quick, the screen, I'll get into that in a second, but anyways, yeah, so the Pixel 6 Pro just didn't do it for me. The Pixel 5, while I like the metal design and things like that instead of the glass backs, it just still, I don't know, there was things like the phone speaker wasn't that great, just some simple things that everyday use just didn't do it for me. So then that goes back to the Pixel 4 XL, and that's where I kind of want to pause. The Pixel 4 XL, I think, was the last really good Pixel phone. It had great face unlock, the screen was nice, the speakers were good, the materials felt good, the colorways were nice. So it just checked off a lot of boxes that just provided a great experience for that period of time. Team Pixel sent me to Camp Pixel, and man, that was just a wonderful experience. I need to make a whole video about that, I didn't vlog it or anything like that, but maybe I'll just do a blog post or just something just to kind of explain. I don't know, it meant a lot to me that I got to go on that trip, but regardless, it was the perfect scenario to test out the Pixel 7 Pro. I was around a bunch of other Team Pixel members, and we got to really bounce off of each other, help each other out, get the content that we wanted, and actually just get some more experience from other people's perspectives. Like I said, just a really good situation to be able to test out a phone, especially the week right after it got launched. I mean, I only had it for maybe 2 days before I left, so just a fantastic opportunity to put this thing to the test. And let me tell you, it was gorgeous. The fall foliage, the change of the leaves was perfect timing. It was so nice. To be able to test out the camera with all the nice fall colors, it was just I felt like I was taking photos for a calendar, or, I don't know. Do people get calendars anymore? Great experience, wonderful time with all the Team Pixel members. And yeah, so I've been ranting on for enough, but I just wanted to provide you some context before getting into some of these critique points that I have for the Pixel 7 Pro. Also, like, I have to review the Google Pixel Watch. I've got some opinions about it. I'm not mad at it, but stay tuned for that review too. I'm hoping to get that in next week or two. For this first section, I want to talk about what I think that they fixed with the Pixel 7 Pro. For years, the Pixel has had a dominant reputation in the photography department, but video has always been just like this struggle. It's not been horrible, but it's just not been a good video experience in comparison to other devices. I really think that they turned that around this time. Some features like the video stabilization is pretty impressive. The quality itself looks great, and it's easy to edit. So some of the flexibility that I have with editing in post has been pretty nice. The Fingerprint Reader. As you know, the 6 Pro just struggled. It still struggles. I did all the things to try to make it a better experience for me last year. It just was not good. Like, it was very, very hit and miss with landing the Fingerprint Reader just right. This time around, this feels like it's right back to where the Pixel 4 XL quality was like with the Fingerprint Reader. I have no problems. Like, I unlock this thing without a problem using my fingerprint. It's fantastic. I would say it's like 98% accuracy. That was one of the things that irritated me the most about the Pixel, not the most. It just irritated me a lot about the 6 Pro, and it just made me not want to use it. And that's, again, going back to why I wanted to go back to something like the iPhone, because simple things like that with the 6 Pro and before just didn't perform that well. So I got irritated with things like that. So I was anxious to get back to the iPhone, and they fixed that this time around. It's smooth. It's butter. It feels good. I don't know how a fingerprint reader can feel good, but it feels good. All right, so another way to unlock the device is with your face. While I appreciate that they brought this feature back and it works some of the times, it's just nowhere near as what it was like with the Pixel 4 XL or even in comparison to the iPhone. Face ID is almost flawless. Like, you can, with the iPhone, you can unlock the screen with a hat on, sunglasses, all kinds of stuff on your face, and it still worked. But that's because the iPhone and even the Pixel 4 XL just had a completely different technology base than what the 7 Pro has. The 7 Pro basically just uses the camera, and that's why it has to actually see your whole face. The fingerprint reader just works way better than that, and if the face unlock works, it's fine, it's great, but I don't count on it working to unlock stuff. The next thing that they got right was the screen brightness. It is fantastic. It does a great job. When I'm outside in the full bright sunlight, I can see the screen brightly lit. Like, it's impressive, it's great. I have no complaints with that whatsoever. On the other side of the spectrum, in dark environments, if you remember with the 6 Pro, like, the auto brightness was just all over the place. It would be really dim, it would be really bright, it just would fluctuate like crazy. This seems to be really smooth, and they have worked out those kind of bugs. I don't know what the problem was with the 6 Pro, but this works great on the 7 Pro. The only complaint that I have with the brightness of the screen actually is in reference to the fingerprint reader. If you don't get it just right, because it uses like a bounce light in a sense to read your fingerprint, it causes a little bit of brightness. So if you're in a dark environment, it might get too bright for your face, but yeah, it's just one of those things to just kind of work out. Regardless, the typical auto brightness and things like that, I think that they have done a really good job with finding the right balance in the right environments. All right, into some photography kind of stuff. Macro photography is just fun to me. It mixes up the kind of content that you can capture. And the macro shots that you can get with this phone is actually really impressive. I've had some fun getting some minor details. It's pretty simple to use. All you really got to do is just kind of hold the phone close to a subject and then just frame your stuff up right. It will automatically switch over to the macro mode. Probably one of the biggest things that I think that Google got right this year was the ecosystem. Continuity between devices is one of the things that keeps me using the iPhone and the iOS Mac system. Being able to copy and paste between devices, AirDrop, iMessage, all the different things that iOS and macOS offer. But it's also with devices. So with Google now, you got the Pixel Watch, you got the Pixel Buds Pro, and the 7 Pro. Like, so you got your phone, earbuds, and watch. They really complement and balance each other out. When I'm using an iPhone, I'm using AirPods all the time. I'm using an Apple Watch all the time. So for my personal flow of everyday devices that I use, it's important for me to have the phone, watch, and earbuds. And I get that now with the Google Pixel 7 Pro, the watch, and also the earbuds. So ecosystem, like I said, if you could kind of think about getting back on track or on track, ecosystem makes a difference. And I think that's one of the best things that is about this series of devices that Google has offered for us this year. All right, next section, what Google got right. And some of the points I've already made complement what I'm about to say too. So they kind of go hand in hand. Again, going back to iOS, that's just one we're going to compare to, so get used to it. iOS is really smooth to me. The gestures, just the way that you interact with the device, it's smooth and fluid. Looking at the Pixel 7 Pro, the gestures are great. The transitions between apps, all the different things like how you interact with the device is fluid. Like I've not experienced bugs, I've not experienced any kind of lagginess or just performance issues. It's just been an overall fluid experience. And fluidity to me is one of the things that really polishes off the device and keeps people using it because it's just a good experience. It's smooth. I think this is the first time in a while that I can say that the photos and videos look great on a device as far as Android goes. iOS, I think, has really been a good balance of photos and videos for a while now. Pixels have had a great reputation in the photography department, not so much in the video department. I think that they've really smoothed that kind of stuff out this year. Like I feel good about using the video features. I will say though that the front-facing camera, and I'll link Jonathan Casey's video series that he's made about this issue, is that it's really soft, it's not sharp, and it's like a minimum focus distance kind of thing. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes it's kind of like, that could be better. I think more importantly is that the overall picture looks good. Night sight is just freaking amazing. It blows my mind what you can do with a phone and so many less steps in which you have to do with a quote unquote like real camera. Like a real camera, you gotta put it on a tripod, you gotta put it to a certain shutter, you gotta, do all these different adjustments just to be able to get a similar image that you can with the phone. With the phone, you put on a tripod, aim it, and it goes into the mode automatically, and you just do a couple steps. Like, it's really amazing what you could do with night sight. We did some cool light painting photography at Camp Pixel, and yeah, like, it's just super cool to me. I mean, you could do astrophotography with this, get the stars. You can do astro time lapses with this thing. It's just amazing, and it's just really cool that you can do all this kind of stuff with your phone and not even have to bust out a real camera.
So I was doing it before, but I wasn't getting as much height. Oh,
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, this is it. That's
awesome.
I was like, and now I can put on my fleece again. I wanted to
That's a really cool photo.
Yeah, I really like this
Nice
with
job.
the height. Thank you.
So what are you testing out?
I'm just getting some snippets I'm going to use in my review for the Pixel. I was testing the cinematic blur right there for the video.
What's your thoughts on cinematic blur so far?
This is the first time I ever used it, and it's really impressive. It's actually a lot better than I thought it would be. It's quite realistic looking.
Real tone. This was something that was introduced last year, but to me, it's such an important thing to bring up. Now, as a photographer and videographer, skin tones mean a lot to me. My style, I like to do more true to life colors. I use Sony cameras for my real cameras, and they have a picture profile called S-Cinetone, and I really think that it has a fantastic skin tone quality to it. I won't do any kind of color grading. Here's what Cinetone looks like without a color grade. Back to the color grade now. Their effort to be able to be inclusive to everyone, to make sure that everyone is represented, it means a lot to me. Not just as a photographer or videographer, but just as a human. Like to be able to represent as many people as you can and make them feel like they are included with your effort, that says a lot. Moving on to design. Not so much the materials, which are nice, but the design language is spot on. The color themes across the Pixel devices, the phone, watch, buds, look good, and when you see the products, you know it's Pixel. The shape plays into the design language as well, so you kind of got this like rounded, clean look. But to mention the materials, the curved edge is a bit more subtle this time, which I like way more compared to the Pixel 6 Pro, which are just too curved. I prefer a completely flat screen though, so maybe next year we can just have a completely flat one. But I will say that with the slightly curved edge, it does feel good with those like gestures, the back swipe and things like that. So I kind of like it, but then still I would like just a flat screen. My experience with the battery life has not been the best. And this isn't, again, in comparison to the iPhones that I've used. I've used the Pro Max line for a few years now, and let me tell you, the battery life on those devices, they are great. Like I would consider myself a power user. I'm using the phone all day long, text, calls, social media, camera, video, all kinds of stuff like that. And with the iPhone Pro Max series, I was going to bed, 10 or 11 o'clock at night with 50% battery life left. For the iPhone 14 series, I went with the Pro model, not the Max, and I was actually a bit surprised at the dramatic difference between the battery life between the Max and just a regular size. So with the iPhone 14 Pro, I was getting about 20% leftover battery life. Decent. That was about my average. Like at first with the Pixel 7 Pro, I was like, man, this is not doing so good. And it really it was fluctuating. Like every day was different experience. And let me give you an example. On one of the trails that we went on with Camp Pixel, like we're using our cameras, so doing all kinds of stuff like that. And doing that process, it was like maybe like an hour and a half hike altogether. I didn't have the phone on the whole time, but when there were scenic views to capture different kind of content, obviously I was using the camera. The bus ride back to camp, which was about an hour or so ride, I definitely had to plug up my phone. Like I was out of battery life, and this was before dinner time. That was kind of concerning. So it really just depends on what you're putting the phone through, of the kind of battery life that you're gonna get. If you are using the camera, like just expect to have a power bank next to you if you're not gonna be next to a wall outlet. Battery life in my everyday life though, on average, I'm probably going to bed, 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock, just kind of depends on what's going on. I'm going to bed and it's about between like 15%, 20% at best. If I'm really pushing it, like I'm probably charging it at some point in the day. You're gonna get all day battery life with normal use, but if you put this thing through anything that's heavy usage, you might wanna have that extra charger next to you. This last segment is areas of improvement. Battery life. I don't wanna hound on that too much more, but it's definitely an area of improvement that's needed. Cinematic mode. So go back to some camera features. As a videographer, like cinematic mode, when I hear these features, I'm like, this could be interesting. I might use this for different kinds of content. And I would even say like with the iPhone, it just looks too artificial to me. And it's definitely that with the Pixel 7 Pro. The cinematic mode, the focus is also not as accurate. Like it really breathes or bounces between focal points. And so that was kind of a problem for me. However, like when it gets it right, it looks really good. As a matter of fact, Mark, and I'll leave a link below to his post, he made this really awesome video portrait video, but cinematic mode video with a portrait, what the heck do you call that? It's not portrait photo, but portrait video. But anyways, it looked really good. He did a really awesome job with that. Like I said, like if it nails it, it nails it. But in my experience, it was very hit and miss with like focal points, just whatever's in focus kind of stuff, and then also just looking too artificial. Face unlock, just to kind of reiterate on that talking point, is that I am so glad that face unlock is back, but I would much rather have a notch or a forehead, whatever you want to call it, that includes the technology to make a flawless experience. I would much rather have that kind of stuff versus the hole punch design just using the camera. I definitely don't want Dynamic Island. I think Dynamic Island is dumb, and I think that they should just kept the notch on the iPhone. Little plug for that part. The speaker quality is one of those things, like on a phone call especially, it has like this tingy sound to it. And it's really hard to explain unless I don't know if it's just my network or if it's like a mix between that kind of stuff, but when you're on a phone call, there's been times I've had to pull the phone away from my ear because it just had too much of a high pitch, tingy noise to it. I feel like it's kind of gotten a little bit better, so there might have been a software update that kind of smoothed that part out, or the adaptive audio feature that you can turn on might have helped fix some of those problems, but it's still somewhat there. But in comparison, just listening to videos, YouTube, music, whatever it is, the speakers don't sound nearly as good as they do on the iPhone. The iPhone speakers are fantastic. I think it's some of the best in the business. I mean, it's not bad, but it's definitely not good. And the speaker quality needs to improve. And it's been a problem, I would say, since the Pixel 5. Remember when the audio was passed through the glass? Yeah, that was weird. But I didn't use that phone because the call quality was just awful. but it's not to that degree of quality, but it feels like it's like the same technology trying to get through, but even though they have a speaker. All right, so that's pretty much my review about this device. I hope I brought up some points that you might not have heard from anybody else yet, or maybe I confirmed some similar experiences that you might have or have seen others go through, whether it's bad or good. One more talking point that I would love to see incorporated, at least on the accessory side of stuff, is like if you're a case manufacturer, you need to just make MagSafe for all the devices, even outside of the iPhone. For example, I'm using the Peak Design case for the Pixel 7 Pro. It's been my favorite case that I've used with the Pixel 7, by the way, link below. But it has MagSafe support. So again, I'm coming from the iPhone experience, which has MagSafe. I use MagSafe with almost everything as far as the iPhone accessories go. That includes the wallet, my car mounts, portable batteries, so on and so forth, like pop sockets, the ring holders that you can use. MagSafe, to me, is just the best accessories ecosystem. I'm really glad that there's been some case manufacturers that do include MagSafe with their Android phones so that I can continue to use the same accessories that I'm used to using without having to completely replace stuff when I use an Android device. I don't know if you feel the same way, but like once you experience MagSafe, it's really hard to use other kind of accessories because it's just, I don't know, to me, it's just good to use. I've really surprised myself that I'm not back on the iPhone yet. So the Pixel 7 Pro's been out for a few weeks now. And like I said, I used to get really anxious within just even a day's time to get back to the iPhone. There's just something special about the 7 Pro. I really feel like Google did a great job with this. Again, it's not perfect. There's a lot of areas of improvement, but I feel like they did a really good job with this phone. And I think that you would be happy picking one up for yourself. And I would say even upgrading from the 6 Pro, you would have a better experience with the 7 Pro. If you have any questions, please leave those down in the comments. I'll try to answer those to the best of my ability. If you'd like to see some different kind of material other than like a review on YouTube, I have my Instagram and Twitter accounts that I like to post different kinds of content to. And it's talking head points, creative stuff, my @Joshua Bain and also my Bain Tech stuff, just different kind of formats like that. I am rambling on too much, but anyways, if you are interested in different kinds of content outside of YouTube, I have my social account as well. Let me know your thoughts. Are there things that you agree with? Maybe some stuff that you're experiencing similar to what I have experienced, or if you've had different experiences, let me know. I'm curious to see what everybody's opinions are about the 7 Pro if you have it. If you don't have it, I don't know how you can have too much of an opinion about it, but anyways, it's a great phone. I think that you'll like it. If you haven't got it yet, go ahead and try it out. All right, thank you so much for watching the video. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you next video. Also, watch in earbuds and overall experience, like the ecosystem stuff will probably at least be some social media content, but I think I'll make a video about all that. So definitely a review about the watch and the buds. I don't know. I think I need to do it all together. No, yeah. I talk way too much out loud in these kind of things. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go hit the stop record button now.